Well, all right. Hello. Welcome. I just want to thank you for joining us for today's presentation. Will consignment work for you? This is Maverick Car Company's second how-to presentation, second live presentation that we've done in the month of May. And frankly, this is the beginning of what we hope will be a series of useful and informative presentations related to vehicle owning, buying, and selling. And actually, one of our most important guests I see is actually coming on right now.
Hi.
So
put it louder.
Hi. We did start the live stream, so we are rolling. And as
right.
I was just telling the audience that's watching us, today's presentation will be in question and answer format.
Awesome.
The guy doing the answering is going to be Shawn. Shawn, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Hey, thanks, Armando. My name is Shawn. I run the consignment program here at Maverick. I'm a car enthusiast who has owned, bought, sold, traded, bartered my fair share of vehicles. I'd say probably too many at this point in my life, but I've been with Maverick Car Company for a few years. Wore a few different hats prior to jumping into the consignment department, and I'd say I truly found my home here in this department. I'm enjoying what I'm doing here.
And he does a great job of it, folks. There will be three of us, if you will, asking questions, starting with Diana. Diana, will you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Yes, so don't mind me. I'm going live on my Instagram too. Hi, everyone. I'm Diana. I'm the founder of an Instagram page and brand called Boise Bucket List. And I'm very excited to talk about consignment. And I have some audience questions, and I cannot wait to share them with you so you can learn about consignment.
Awesome. And then next, I'll also have a few questions for Shawn. And for the record, my name is Armando. I am a writer, marketer, and developer, and I help Maverick Car Company with its marketing and obviously with its live streaming. And finally, the last group of questions will come from our live audience on YouTube and with Diana on Instagram. And we'll be reading those probably at the end as they come up on YouTube or on Instagram. Again, we are new at this, so it might be that the only people watching this live are the three of us. But if you are watching it live and you want to ask a question, we would really encourage you to do so. Diana, do I need to give you a minute to get going there on Instagram?
Yes, I have about 4 or 5 people tuning in now, and I'm going to make sure they can ask a question in my pin comment. And then awesome. I'll put a hand up if I see any particular questions about that. So.
And awesome. I was going to point out, I guess, since we're waiting a little time there, as Shawn and I were going on, he was concerned about having that printer in the background, and I'm kind of in the attic dungeon here at Maverick.
Yeah.
And so I told him not to worry about the printer because
I think people get that we're just hanging in there, working from home right now, or wherever our space is. So, yeah.
That's it. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get the Q&A started if everybody's ready. Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the first question. So I have a car. I want to sell it. I'm thinking about consignment, but I don't necessarily understand what's in it for you, Shawn. Why does a dealership, any dealership, your dealership, want to sell my car for me?
That's a great question. Well, I think first and foremost, it gives us an opportunity to do what we do best, and that's help people get the opportunity to meet. We call them friends, or sometimes clients, I guess, but we like to refer to them as friends. And it gives the dealership an opportunity to sell vehicles that we have a history of. And I think that's super important. A good case in point, we just recently sold an Audi actually 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago. And it was awesome because the gentleman that's purchasing it had a lot of questions about it. And I was able to help the sales team by answering and just explaining very simply, hey, this vehicle is being sold. The gentleman's actually pursuing his commercial pilot license. It's an extra vehicle and doesn't need it anymore. It's been sitting, and that's why he's like, well, why is it so clean? I said, that's just who the guy is. So I was able to explain that, and that kind of helped out. Obviously, as you know, we are in business to make money. So we do make money on the consignment program as well. But I think it's important for folks to know with our program specifically that if we don't sell your vehicle, we don't make anything. And so we're really, really confident in what we do. And we show that by investing our money, our time up front with the hopes with the end result of having a sold vehicle.
All right. So consignment. So we talk about it, and I know a little bit about it. For those who are tuning in, who might know, I've heard of it when it comes to clothing consignment. You know, I've gotten my fair share of clothing consignment stores in Boise and beyond. So break it down for us, Shawn. What exactly is vehicle consignment?
Well, another good question. I've had people say that. In fact, I can't tell you how many times I've called folks back, got a call, and they say, I've heard, first words, I've heard of clothing consignment. How does cars work? Virtually, it works the exact same way. The short answer I give folks is you're allowing a professional to sell something for you. We do this every single day. That's what business is built on, is selling vehicles. So bringing it to us ensures that it's going to be done ideally without you having to. Same reason you drop your clothes off at a consignment clothing store or furniture. You don't want to deal with it. You drop it off with us. We handle it from start to finish, and ideally you get a phone call and pick up a check.
Oh wow, that's ideal. Phone call, check. Nice.
Yeah, and real quick to point out one more thing on that as far as consignment goes. Vehicles specifically, vehicles and houses are typically your two biggest purchases. And the financing component for us on the consignment is a big thing. You get people come in here and they owe $30,000, $40,000 on a car, and they say, hey, I'm having trouble selling this. And typically it's a financing thing with people not wanting to go to their own banks. And so having the ability to get folks financed same day and have them drive off with the vehicle helps immensely as well.
Ooh, we got some good audience questions already. So,
oh man,
yeah. Do you want me to ask now or wait till the end? What do you think?
You got, I'm good either way. We can go through the questions you have.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you go with it if you want?
Yeah, we have an audience question from Christina. Stina, hi, Stina. How often are there vehicle consignment sales? Can a regular customer, like let's say she wanted to come in with her husband, buy a car at consignment, and how is it different from buying a car at auction?
So that's a great question. So buying one of our consignment vehicles, when you come into the dealership, it would be no different than buying one of our traded-in vehicles that are on our lot. It's the same process from start to finish. The big difference again being is when someone has those questions, specific questions on a vehicle, we have a little bit more history on those consigned vehicles than we do on the vehicles that are on our lot. But there's no set dates for our consignment sales. They're for sale on our lot, just as our other inventory is.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, can I add something to that? You know, we're starting to send out a weekly newsletter as well. And the weekly newsletter today featured a vehicle that is a consignment vehicle here on our lot. So from a marketing perspective and from the dealership perspective, we treat consignment vehicles just like we would a car that arrived here in some other way. In fact, sometimes better, because Shawn does have the backstory.
Ooh, we can't wait to hear more about the backstory. So keep staying tuned because we have more from Shawn. So that's a little transition into what I was going to ask too. You know, I had an audience question about, is it like renting? You know, the concept of renting a vehicle or renting a vehicle. How does that? Is it like renting your consignment? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, so I've actually had folks ask me specifically, especially the Teslas and the vehicles that are traditionally popular with those that just want to see one or drive one. But they asked me how we go about allowing folks to drive their vehicle while it's here on consignment. And again, it's no different than how we do it with our regular vehicles. There are special instructions at times with some of the higher Indy vehicles. But ultimately, we make sure they have a valid license, valid insurance, and that they're here to actually pursue a purchase of a vehicle, not just here to see how fast 0 to 60 is in a Tesla.
Good. That's good to know. In case someone wants to consign their Tesla, they have faith in there's clearance.
Absolutely.
To drive it. That's great. Or test drive.
Hey, Shawn, you mentioned how long it takes to go 0 to 60 in a Tesla. I have a sort of a how long question. How long does consignment take, right? If I had my car on, Facebook Marketplace for a month and it's not selling, and I bring it to you guys, how quickly will it sell with a dealership?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite question, because I think I get it about 5 times a day. So really, it just comes down to this. It depends on how realistic you are with what your expectations are as far as pricing goes. So in short, we do our best to get someone as close to private party value for the vehicle, if not a little more at times, sometimes a little less, depending on the market, right? If you had your vehicle on Facebook Marketplace for a month, I would look at where you had it price-wise and be able to give you a good idea of, hey, this is a good price and you should have been able to sell it, so on and so forth. But for us, our timeline it varies because we use so many different avenues for marketing the vehicle. And we honestly, our reputation alone, we get a lot of walk-in clients, just have repeats, referral clientele. So our timeline is a little bit, I would say, better than those of just posting a picture on Facebook and kind of hoping for the best. Quick story, if I may, just to kind of give you an idea. I had a gentleman, it's been a week and a half, brought in a 2018 Rubicon. It's lifted, has all this trick stuff on it, super nice Jeep. And I went out and talked to him about consigning it with us, and we went through it, and the books didn't really apply to this vehicle because it was built up for SEMA shows. And so I said, well, what do you want for it? And he told me, he said, hey, I want around $53,000 to $55,000. And I honestly kind of chuckled because I was like, wow, that's okay. Well, I'll be honest, that's kind of uncharted waters on a Jeep Wrangler, but I think it deems it looking at the books and everything. And so I asked him, have you been trying to sell it, on your own? He said, actually, I had it somewhere for 2 months prior to trying to sell it. And I said, okay. So I'm always up for a challenge. So we talked price a little more. And then I said, well, we're going to do everything we can to market and get this thing out there and see. And within 2 days, we had 3 leads on it. And 4 days into the consignment, it sold. I mean, that's a $55,000 Jeep Wrangler. So I'd say we do better than you on your own, typically.
Okay, so let's repeat that again.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so to those who are tuning in a little late, let's repeat the timeline again, just in case someone couldn't hear it. So they dropped, a very tricked out Wrangler. People be like, what? Can I get that? I know you said how much it costs.
Yep.
Or you were selling it for. Yeah. So you got all the photo, which Maverick does, you've agreed, and we'll talk about that in marketing, but the moment it's on the lot, what was the time frame of it being on Fairview? Hey, look at that car, and then it selling. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It actually came on the lot. Funny enough, the first gentleman that looked at it came in to look at another Jeep, saw it back here getting photos behind under our awning here, and was like, "Can I drive that?" And absolutely. And in that first 24-hour period, we had 3 people seriously interested, and then it sold on day 4. It's pretty amazing, honestly. And we've had some. So that happened a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. The Audi I touched on earlier today, it actually is the first vehicle thus far that went on the lot last Friday morning. It was on the lot at about 10 a.m. and it sold at 4 o'clock. So
what?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He's like, is that a record? And I said, I think so. When I called him and let him know, he was pretty excited. So I'd say we're doing pretty good. And the difference being is that was a $16,000, $17,000 vehicle versus a $55,000. So with everything going on in the world today, I would say that I would love to say I have a really good gauge on what's happening in the industry. But I mean, ultimately, it seems to me there's a level of normalcy back that we're pretty happy with.
Ooh, I love normalcy. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like I have more of a little normal situation. For my high school vehicle that got me through law school, and then when I had to get a second vehicle when I lived in Maine, I leaned on the men in my life. I don't like using gender, but that's who I actually leaned on. So, the whole buying or selling a car process, particularly selling the car, I just a lot of fear behind that. So if you can, me being a woman and those who are tuning in who have their own experiences with car dealerships and selling and that engagement, with the potential seller, how does consignment help ease that fear, mitigate some of those challenges we feel with selling our vehicle?
Oh, I have to say, I think this is my favorite question because I've had folks on the phone that have been extremely timid. And I'd say the short answer to this is Maverick does business the right way. It ultimately, it doesn't matter if you are a single mother with 3 children or a car guru. At the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers. We're extremely transparent about that. We show you the numbers. If it's something you're not certain of, we say, hey, take these home. Here they are. Think about it. I've even had folks come in and say, gosh, I was really hoping to get a little bit more. And I say, well, why don't you give it a shot selling it private party? I'm happy to help you write up your ad even. And I've done that, and give them some coaching and advice on how to do that. And I've had people literally leave here and call me the same day and say, yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to bring it in. I've had folks try it and be successful. So we're here to help however we can. We treat every single person that comes to the door the exact same. So it doesn't matter who you are. The program's the program, and we do it the right way every time.
Yes. And for me, I'll be happy to drop off the vehicle. You sell it. I show up and say, I get a phone call, say, what? A check? Thank you so much. I like that feeling. Leave it to the experts, as I like to say. So
yeah.
Awesome.
Shawn, how does the consignment work if I still owe money on my car?
Well, it honestly works the same for you. It just adds a step on the back end for us. But honestly, I think I would say we're close to 75% of the folks that come in with consignment vehicles owe money on their vehicles. And so we deal with that every single day. It's not a big deal at all. It's kind of funny. I'll put that in the same box as people say, hey, should I have my car cleaned before I bring it to you? Or, do I need to pay off the loan before I bring it to you? And neither of those are true statements. We can handle everything here. So.
Ooh, I like that. So we're in, Idaho. We have, not only do we have the vehicles, we have a lot of people here who have toys. You have the RVs, you have the razors, you have motorcycles, all these different modes of transportation and for fun. Do you only consign vehicles or other motor type of thing?
Great question. Well, so as of now, it's vehicles, cars and trucks, but I could definitely see in the future, I've had enough calls for motorcycles and RVs to where I could see us being who we are, wanting to see if we could add value and help folks out. I could see us transitioning into a little bit more, but right now we're trying to really master the car and truck industry, vehicle industry, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, that gives them a stay tuned part of this. So stay tuned, which for me, I'm on Instagram Live. Hi everyone on YouTube, and I'm no one to shy behind away from marketing, which leads to my next question. How does marketing the vehicles? How does marketing come into play with your consignment vehicle? Like what platform do you utilize? I know we have Armando here who can answer that too. But if someone were to have their vehicle consigned, how would it be marketed?
You guys are killing it. I love these questions. These are good. These are ones that I get every day, so it's awesome. But there are a few in here that I haven't. So we use all major online car shopping sites. The cars.com, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, Craigslist, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm sure there's a few others I'm forgetting. But I say, think of it this way. You're getting the full benefit of a dealership marketing department, and marketing strategies are ever changing, and we adapt to the market. It's a lot more than, as I said earlier to Armando, it's a lot more than just an ad on Facebook or Craigslist, if you will.
I like that. I've seen the ads. For those who follow Maverick on Instagram and Facebook, the genius behind that is Mr. Armando himself. Hello. So, and I love, if you haven't followed them, this is my plug because I love Instagram, obviously. But you see the vehicles and how they look, and you can imagine yourself in them. Like that's the thing too. Is I saw that white Rubicon. I mean, obviously you took it down when it sold, but I saw that I was like, ooh, that's quite the car. So when it makes you stop and say, ooh.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah, and I have to say, shout out to Jessica who does our photos. She's phenomenal.
Oh, see, he's behind the marketing team. I love him.
I love. She's so good.
I don't know if this is the right format for that, but I will maybe a preview of what is to come. I will tell you that future vehicle pages on Maverick will include video. That's coming, and it's possible that we're going to use a flying drone to shoot those. So action sequences
I'm talking about
coming your way.
Wait a minute. You're talking about wait, is this an exclusive insight into
it's hey, I'm just gonna move on to the next question for Shawn. Hey Shawn, is there ever gonna be an chance as I'm consigning with you that I'm gonna have to sort of lower my asking price at some point?
Fabulous question. Ideally, no, but there are times when that is necessary. But that being said, it never comes as a surprise. And kind of give you an example of that. If someone comes in and I'll use a Toyota Tacoma for an example, and they come in and we're looking at the market, and I say, gosh, well, I'll say it's your car, Armando. And I say, Armando, I think we could realistically sell this truck rather quickly if it's, we get 24 to you and price it accordingly. But I think you could get as much as 25. And I'm happy to start there, but we got to see kind of how the market plays out 2 weeks from now. If we're not getting the interest that we're looking for, or the click-throughs and the things that we look to kind of gauge how things are going, then I might call you and ask you for that. And then it gives you the opportunity actually to say, you know what, I don't want to leave any money on the table, so let's try that. That sounds good. So yes, you will, but it will be something that, again, it's not going to be a surprise call from me. It's going to be something that you're expecting. And so we talk about that up front, if that makes sense.
Transparency. Of
Yes.
course.
We're pretty good at that whole thing.
Yes. So, I love to affiliate myself and learn from those who are experts. Like I said earlier about me selling a car, I like to go to the experts. And Shawn, by you answering these questions, and it's clear that you have all the enthusiastic about talking about cars, can you tell us, why do you enjoy this part of, car consignment? And do you have any particular stories of, you shared the one about the Rubicon and the Audi, but what you enjoy most about this role, and if you could shed light on maybe how your background influenced that?
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I love working with people, and I like to help wherever and however I can. I think this program, going the way we have it going now, it's an opportunity to show the community that we do, in fact, do things differently here, and that's through and through. And it's also an opportunity for me to make a friend, which I've actually made quite a few, believe it or not, just doing this. And I would have to say probably my favorite thing is making that phone call with someone that's either they've had their vehicle for sale for a while, they've had it here, and it's been a financial burden, and we're able to get it sold for them, and being able to call them and say, hey, I did have a couple that was trying to buy a home. In order to buy that house, they had to get rid of this vehicle. And so being able to do that and do it in a really quick manner and then make that call, like I was more excited. I was literally watching across the way for the folks to walk out with the keys in their hand so I could make the call. And then I just ran outside and called. And I think I was more excited than they were. But they later did say, hey, we were a lot more excited. We were almost just shocked. And you were so fired up that we were like, is everything okay? Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. But yeah, in short, it's pretty awesome to get to do things where you, what you genuinely like to do. And that's helping people for me. And I get to do that every day. And I love it.
You and the whole team. Shout out to Freeman.
Absolutely.
Freeman's not really into the whole Instagram being on video.
That's not his gig. That's not his gig.
But for those who have gone to Maverick and you were to pop in, you will see him sometimes, maybe his wife, but that is the Maverick way.
They are. Yeah. If I have time, I do want to add something else, one more value to the consignment program that I don't know that gets enough attention. The reality is that our sales team is amazing, and they come to me when a consignment comes in and they actually ask me, hey, Shawn, what's going on with that Audi? Can you give me a little backstory on this? I have a client, so they're already starting to try to sell your vehicle before it's even on the lot. And that is not a joke at all. They're awesome. So I just wanted to say that, because although I get the vehicles sold, I'm not actually the one selling them. I'm bringing them in, ideally pricing them right, and giving the right information to the team to have them be able to do their job and do what they do best.
So they're storytellers. They love to hear the stories, which I can attest to that. So when I dropped off the 4Runner, I told, is it Crystal? Shoot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I told Crystal, I'm dropping off Stormy. And she's like, and I told her why it was named Stormy. And she was I get high on people who want to know about stories. So she was so eager to learn about Stormy's, her name, where it come from. So I saw that with Crystal, and somebody that I met just randomly also felt that from Crystal. That's one of many of the sales team, but storytelling is the jam, honestly. So.
Agreed.
All right, so those who are tuning in, I don't have any questions, but please comment if you have any questions for Shawn, even for Armando. We're on live, so I will be able to tell them if you have a question. So just don't be afraid to post. But someone said, thank you for doing this live. They really appreciate it, the knowledge. So.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
We, you know, I guess I'll add this, and then we should probably, unless we have some more questions, come to a close. But this is something that we want to keep doing at Maverick, which is to answer questions. So as you comment, whether it's with Diana or with us on YouTube, tell us some of the other things you'd like us to cover. If you have questions about the, you know, the automobile industry, we'd be more than happy to do a Q&A like this, covering, you know, just about any topic. One of the topics probably want to know is, Shawn mentioned he has owned many cars. The man has had, is it 50 personal vehicles? Is that true?
53. But
53.
Okay.
53.
No one's counting now.
My wife is actually counting. I actually said, I don't know, it's like 25. She's like, it's 50, 53 to be exact.
Oh,
So,
wow. She is exact.
All right. So, you know, what Shawn's really telling you is that you can sign your car. If nothing else, he'll buy it.
There's a good chance. There is a good chance.
No,
Awesome.
just kidding. Well, listen, I don't have any more questions over here on the YouTube side. If there's nothing else on the Instagram side, I think we should just say thank you for everyone who did watch us live. And, you know, if you please do comment, even in the future, comment and let us know if there are things we can cover for you. Thank you so much. Everybody have an awesome.
Thank you all. I appreciate it,
Have a
Armando.
great weekend.
Hey, and take care. All right, Diane.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
I'm going to leave the meeting.